Ayan tayo guys. So, good afternoon. So, yan, maswerte tayo. Kasama natin si Sir Mil. Si Sir Mil, ano to, ah, decorated, ano rin to, and certified professional, IT professional, lang sa, hindi lang sa Google Cloud. Nadaanan na nga niya lahat. Halos lahat, isa na lang natitira na certification. So, ganun siya kasipag sa magpag-aral at saka syempre pagpapa-certify. Maraming mararating naman niya to pag pag hindi naman niya gagawin yan kung pag hindi niya nakikita yung value. But I'll give the floor to Sir Mil to add more. Uh, maraming pwedeng sabihin kay Sir Mil pero ah, sa community super helpful si Sir Mil lalo na nung nagsisimula yung Google etong GDG Cloud. Isa siya sa masugid na volunteer natin. So super 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 cool, daling lapitan, mabait, tutulungan talaga tayo niya. So, and he's connected with Colab, which is a Google partner, a premier Google partner. Yon, marami rin siyang adventures. So, ayan, I'll give the floor to Sir Mil again. Thank you so much, Sir Mil, for your time and spending this afternoon with us to share your knowledge to the community. So, yan.
Okay, thanks for that, Sir Brian. So yeah, good afternoon everyone. Thanks for making time on a weekend pag-join dito sa natin sa fourth session for the Road to Google Developer Certification. Okay, so mostly binanggit na halos lahat ni Sir Brian. So just a quick background on myself. So yeah, so I'm a chief engineer right now in under the company called Colab. So we're a premier partner for GCP here in the Philippines. Then I'm also a champion innovator specifically for databases sa GCP. And sa history ko ng pagsa-certify yan, right now I have 10 Google Cloud certification. So I initially started with the workspace admin. Then nag-ace din ako. Then yun, nagtuloy-tuloy na. So it all started back in 2019. And Sir Brian is correct. Yung umpisa pa lang yung GDG Cloud Manila, I was one of the yung pinaka-active na volunteers. So I know what you guys are experiencing and planning to go through. Yeah. Okay. So for this afternoon, this will be yung agenda. So just like the other sessions, we have to go through yung kung nasa na tayo sa journey natin. Then exam guide, sample questions. Then we'll open the floor for the Q&As. Then parang summary kung anong mangyayari for next. Okay. So where are we on our journey? So I reviewed yung mga past recordings kasi I wasn't able to join the previous ones. So right now we're on week 4. Then ito yung mga agenda and yung mga on-demand training that you can take. So I assume you guys have credits na sa Cloud Skills Boost. So it was previously named Quick Labs. So yeah, if you're on week 4, so more than parang halfway na tayo, I assume you're making good progress dun sa skill badges. And so yun yung mga suggestion. But we won't really be bound by kung ano yung agenda dito sa week 4 na to. So I kind of modified the slides to focus more on yung napapansin kong madalas lumalabas sa exam, specifically for GCP Cloud Architect. Okay, so some guide review. Yeah, skip na tayo. Focus tayo dun sa natin, sa material natin for this week. So for this one, we'll focus on designing for security and compliance. So security and compliance always go hand in hand. Okay, before we can go with the specifics of security, I hope everyone is familiar with this chart. So it's the shared responsibility model. So hindi lang siya specific for GCP. present din siya sa other clouds like AWS and Azure. So what it basically shows is kung ano yung delineation ng responsibility mo when it comes to management, security, depending on the product that you're using or the service that you're using on the cloud. So remember, we have three delivery models in cloud, namely yung IaaS, PaaS, then SaaS. So that's basically infrastructure as a service. So ito mostly yung mga nagpo-purchase ka ng service na may VM, then PaaS yung mga magde-deploy ka lang ng code, then yung SaaS is normally yung mga end user applications na to. So depending on the type of product, whichever delivery model it uses, meron ka ring responsibility as a customer. Hindi pwedeng pag dineploy mo yung kay Google Cloud, sila na bahala sa, oh, sorry, yung Google. Next. Oh, wait lang. Nang-gate ka. Ayan. Okay. Yun yung part. Okay. So, yeah. So, you will notice here, depending sa product nga, yan, meron tayong mga tier dito. Normally, we can relate it to the OSI model. Kung anong part doon yung ano ka, responsible. So, okay. Then, we can go to the next slide. Or yeah, this is just a quick analogy. I included this diagram to further explain kung ano yung chart kanina, yung shared responsibility model. So kasi di ba yung shared responsibility model, dependent siya dun sa type ng deployment na that you're using. So IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. So kinompare natin siya dito sa if someone wants to eat pizza or cook pizza. So normally, pag naka-on-premise ka, kung i-compare mo to sa paggawa ng pizza, yung blue, yan yung yan yung ima-manage mo. Then the green ones are what will be managed by the service provider for you or in this case, yung Google Cloud. So pag traditional on-premise ka, ikaw yung bahala sa lahat. From the kitchen right to cooking the pizza, ikaw yung gagawa. Kasi made in-house yan. So that's the same case with on-premise kasi ikaw bibili yung server, ikaw magte-train sa tao, ikaw magmamanage ng security ng facility, basically everything, pati yung patching and all. Pagdating naman sa IaaS, from the kitchen to the oven, kasi kunyari may kitchen as a service na offering, hindi mo siya i-manage. You're only responsible with the dough, yung actual na i-cook and the cooking. And paas naman, mas tumaas yung mas dumami yung handle ng service provider from kitchen to pizza dough. Then you're only responsible at yung i-add mo dun sa pizza like toppings tapos cook mo na yung pizza. Pero pag SaaS na, everything is provided by the service provider. So you can compare this, kunyari parang ito yung made in-house, ikaw nagluto, ikaw nag-prepare na everything, then ito yung nasa dulo, yung pizza sa service. You can compare it to Grab. Parang nag-Grab food ka na lang. Ganyan. So make sure that you understand this yung shared responsibility model. This is fundamental when it comes to GCP architecture. Okay, so when it comes to security, one of the most important aspects that we need to perform is controlling access. So in GCP, we use, may tatlo tayong ways or three aspects when it comes to controlling access. One is authentication, then authorization, then auditing. Huwag kayong malilito when it comes to the difference between the authentication and authorization. These are two very different concepts. Yung authentication kasi is you verifying if the user says who they are. So parang yung authentication is, kunyari si Sir Brian mag-access sa application. That's the part where I verify na si Sir Brian is si Sir Brian talaga. So it could be I could be asking for a password, different credentials, MFA. So that part is authentication. Then the other part on when it comes to controlling access is yung authorization. So sa authorization, this is the part where you check if yung user na na-verified na should have access to a specific resource. Ayan. So yung notice, different siya. Kasi this one verifies the user, this one verifies if the user has access to a specific resource. Then auditing, mostly, ano naman to, for monitoring and checking what changes or accesses a user or a specific entity has. Yeah. Oh, feel free to send your ano pala, your questions on chat kung mayroong something that you want me to elaborate more on, or you can unmute yourself as well. Okay. So, first we focus on ano na sa authentication. So sa authentication, yung tools mostly used na entities natin or kung saan natin ina-assign yung accesses are users and groups. So sa Google Cloud, how you provision users and groups is by using Cloud Identity. So Cloud Identity, paid service siya pero meron ding free tier yan. Parang ganun. But if you're using Google Workspace, it accomplishes the same thing. So yung Cloud Identity, meron siyang different provisioning process. It could be manual via API, CSV upload. Then yung Cloud Identity service mismo, merong users and groups din. Then you can also organize those users via organizational units. Ayan. And so might be wondering, saan natin i-create yung users and groups? Parang may na-skip ako na slide. Yeah, may na-skip pala ako na slide. So, yung part na to, yung provisioning ng users and groups, hindi nyo siya makikita sa GCP. Yeah. Na-skip ko ba? Hindi. Next slide pa pala siya. Kaya pala hindi nakita. Ayan. Ayan. Kasi yung provisioning ng users and groups, ginagawa siya hindi sa GCP console, sa admin console ng admin.google.com. Yun yung actual na URL. So that is where you provision the users and also where you associate those users to their respective groups. So ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na two consoles. So sa GCP console, sa console.cloud.google.com, this is where you assign the IAM roles, but when it comes to provisioning the user accounts, that will be granted the IAM roles sa admin.google.com siya ginagawa. So you have to be familiar with this kasi minsan may lumalabas na questions like saan mo gagawin yung pag-add ng users into groups. So these are two different consoles. You have to be aware of this. Ayan. Then, meron din questions na lumalabas sa exam regarding this one, the Google Cloud Directory Sync. So, ano ba siya? So, yung GCDS, ang purpose nito is to sync identities from external sources into the cloud identity or Google Workspace, whatever service you're using on Google. So, that could include yung user aliases, yung kung saan siya associated na groups, OUs and contacts yan. Yun yung purpose ng GCDS. So, pag visualize natin siya, ganito yung magiging itsura niya. So, ayan. So, let's say you have an organization that's moving into GCP, to Google Cloud. Pero sobrang tedious kung imamigrate mo lahat. And you are currently using na centralized yung management mo ng users. So dito mo siya lahat ginagawa sa Active Directory. What if you want those identities to also be synced sa Cloud Identity? Kasi dito mo i-assign yung IAM. So what if you want these two to sync? Dito papasok si GCDS. So you install it on a server, then you perform some configuration. Any action na i-perform mo sa Active Directory, mirror dun sa Cloud Identity. So one-way sync siya. So if may delete kang user sa Active Directory, madi-delete siya sa Cloud Identity. Then pag may kinreate ka, ganun din, makikreate siya dito. But not the other way around. So one-way siya. This is a common question sa exam, specifically when it comes to, yun nga, basta may binanggit na Active Directory, then you want to sync your users into Cloud Identity or Google Workspace. This is always the right answer. Okay. Then yeah, so now we're crossing into the topic of authorization na tayo. So when it comes to authorization, as mentioned, dito i-validate kung yung user na natin has access to a specific resource. So yung IAM role, bundle lang naman siya ng privileges. So sa Google Cloud, meron tayong mga specific privileges. Like for example, ito sa storage object create. What this means is Google Cloud Storage, this privilege enables the user to create new objects. So mag-upload ng new objects or even mag-create. Yan. Tapos yan, iba-iba siya. So papansin nyo, yung privileges very specific, very granular. But all of these privileges, nakabundle siya sa isang role that we call the object admin. So technically, yun lang yung purpose niya. So binabundle niya yung privileges, then lalagay niya sa isang role. Then this role, you can assign to different types of entities. You can assign it to an org level, sa pinaka-top level ng organization. So magda-downstream din yan, mag-i-inherit pababa. Or you can assign it to a folder, then pwede sa project or sa specific resource. Yan. Okay. Then yung IAM roles din pala, ito lumalabas din sa exam to, yung 3 types ng roles. Yung primitive, namely yung owner, editor, viewer role. So nandyan yan sa GCP by default, but it's not recommended to be used. Ayan. Especially in production. Tapos meron tayong mga predefined roles. Mas granular siya compared sa primitive since service specific to mostly. So yung example natin kanina, itong role objects, storage object admin, that's kind of a predefined role. Kasi na-specify siya sa specific service, then kung ano lang din yung pwede niyang gawin. Then meron din tayong custom roles. Ayan. So yung custom roles, ikaw na yung mag-specify ng privileges, then ikaw din gagawa ng role. Ang maganda dito kasi very granular siya, makokontrol mo, and you can also combine different roles, different, let's say, predefined roles into custom roles. Ayan. So illustration lang to nung sa custom roles natin. So ayan, meron tayong predefined as yung custom. This is the one that I've mentioned earlier. Pwedeng mag-combine ka ng dalawang predefined roles into a new custom role. So maganda yung gamitin if you have a group of people na alam mo, yun lang yung dapat magiging access nila, pero you don't want to keep assigning separate roles to those users or those groups. I-bundle mo na lang. Mas maganda yung ganun. Yan. And when it comes to Google's recommendation nga pala, ang recommendation ni Google when it comes to roles would be using predefined. Predefined, then assigning them to groups, not to individually to users. Ayan. Ayan, wala tayong questions. Then, another important entity na meron sa GCP would be the service account. So, ano ba itong service account? So, service account siya is mostly used by applications or different services. So, hindi siya nakabind sa specific na user. Kasi pag yung user credentials or user entity ang, let's say, inassign sa application, you will run into multiple issues. Like let's say, sa organization nyo, yung user na naka-associate sa application nag-resign. So, disable yung account or binura. So, yung underlying na Google Workspace or Cloud Identity account will be disabled. Ang ending nun, yung application mo would break since hindi na authorize yung application. So, dito papasok yung service accounts natin. Yung service accounts natin, ginagawa din sa console, then you can generate credentials here din. Wala siyang password kasi hindi naman nagla-login yung user sa Windows sa Google. Ayan. Authentication niya, public key pairs. You can download the service account key via the console din. And also, it can be impersonated. Ginagawa normally itong impersonation if you're calling APIs. Like, for example, you want to develop an app within your organization na pwede niyang i-read yung contacts ng isang user na. Pero admin ka, then wala kang access dun sa actual user account. So through delegation, impersonation, that's possible. Medyo powerful yung service account. So you really have to be careful with the associated credential with this. Okay. And I think I'm not really sure kung na-cover to sa past na sa past na sessions natin. But you also have to be familiar with the resource hierarchy sa Google Cloud. So ito yung parang how the resources are organized within Google Cloud. So if you're using Cloud Identity or Google Workspace, you will always have a root node. So yun yung organization node natin. Tapos meron tayong, optionally pala to, optionally you can have folders. Pwede mong i-customize yan. You can organize folders na pwede by team. So kunyari, yung folder na to gawin mo for the IT team or for the development team. Tapos you can also create subfolders like say per app or per environment. So kunyari, itong product 1, pwedeng production environment yan. Tapos sa product 2, ayan, development. Yan, development environment. Then under those folders, pwede ka nang mag-deploy ng projects. Ayan. So, bakit mahalaga tong resource hierarchy? So, use resource hierarchy kasi mapapadali yung pag-grant mo ng access. Remember the roles that we mentioned earlier. Pwede mo kasing i-assign yung role sa level, different level na to, mga node level na. Kasi pwedeng i-assign mo siya dito sa top organization. Pag dito mo siya in-assign sa organization level, sa root node, automatically inherited yun sa baba. So pag kunyari nag-assign ka dito owner access, what it means, whatever user na binigyan mo ng owner access from the top, owner na rin siya sa lahat ng projects. So you have to be aware of that. Kasi may questions din na pumapasok dyan. Like for example, you need to create an environment for your IT team and developers. So different folders sila. Ano yung magiging approach mo? Paano mo ipoprovision yung IAM, isa-set yung IAM? So one approach is gawa ka ng 2 folders tapos assignan mo sila ng different IAMs on those separate folders. Para yung team 1, dito lang may access, pababa. Yung sa kabila naman, team B, pababa doon sa ano mo. Yan. Common questions when it comes to designing your security foundation sa GCP. And yun nga pala yung folder that's completely optional. Okay, so once we combine all the 3, kasi meron na tayong identity. So ito yung part na may authentication. So dito papasok yung MFA, user creation, groups, service accounts. Tapos dito naman sa IAM role, dito papasok yung privileges, predefined roles. Predefined roles, always go with predefined roles unless the question states na kailangan may specific privileges lang, parang kailangan ng custom. And so yung IAM role natin, tapos meron tayong resources. So what an IAM policy basically means is it's a statement or parang papel siya na nagsisaying na this person can do this to specific resources. Yun lang yung meaning ng IAM policy. So a user can do specific things to specific resources. So that's yan. So when it comes to designing IAM policies, Google recommends na mag-follow no least privilege approach. So you don't provide additional privileges to a user kung hindi naman talaga nila kailangan. So that's the primary reason hindi nire-recommend yung primitive role. Kasi yung primitive role, kunyari, inassign mo tong owner or editor role to a user. Ang ibig sabihin niyan, they have full access to all of the services. They can create VMs, delete VMs, create buckets, databases and all. Yun yung ano, masyado siyang permissive. So hindi siya best practice. Okay. Wala bang question from the team?
Sige.
Wala bang?
Sige, mag-pause muna tayo na 30 seconds. May questions ba, guys? Chat lang para ano. Parang last week may masaya naman may mga questions. Siya, mukhang wala pang questions. Sige lang, tuloy lang. How to be you?
Thanks for
intermission.
Intermission, sir.
Sige lang, quick lang.
Not sure kung na.
Hindi, sige lang.
Medyo mahaba nga lang to.
Okay.
Wait, 25 minutes in tayo. I think siguro mga 10 rules yan, or custom rules from level 3 to level 7. Ayan. So remember, if there are questions in the exam din pala regarding DDoS protection, HTTP or application and protection, Cloud Armor is always an option. Um, okay. Another common item that pops up during the exam, yung DLP, yung Data Loss Prevention API. So yung Data Loss Prevention API is a managed service by Google wherein using this, you can redact or remove data from, let's say, your storage, yung mga data, kunyari, nasa cloud storage or nasa BQ. Kasi let's say your application is collecting user information pero inadvertently kasi minsan may ganun, may mga user ka na nagpo-provide ng mga PII, mga personally identifiable information. So that could mean it could be credit card number, social security numbers, sometimes email address is considered PII na. So using this service, you can easily remove or redact those information. And so just make sure that you're aware of this service kasi paulit-ulit siyang lumalabas sa exam. Okay, so when it comes to compliance naman, Google provides you compliance resource center. So from here, you can check yung mga different compliance na si Google, under si Google. So that includes yung SOC 2, SOC 3, for medical institutions, yung HIPAA. If your application is using payment, collecting payment services, yung PCI DSS. So, nandiyan yung lahat ng information regarding Google Cloud and how they comply with that. With the compliances. Yan. Okay, so ito lahat yung some lang pala to, yung mga compliance na ng Google Cloud. So yung ISO, PCI DSS, TSA, yan, different countries have their own compliance requirements. So when you're gonna design for compliance, normally you have to specify anong compliance ba yung kailangan mo. So for example, CIS. Yung CIS, nag-provide sila ng guidelines what settings you need to configure para maging compliant ka sa CIS. So, minsan may mga guide naman doon on how you would perform. Like, kunyari, bawal yung cloud storage na naka-expose sa public. So, those are some of the steps that you have to perform para maging compliant ka. Yan. So, how is also Google compliant when it comes to storage encryption? So, ayan, yung mentioned din kanina dun sa video, dun sa 6-minute video sa Google Cloud. So, it was mentioned there na although yung information, yung user data, nasa servers ng Google Cloud, users have the option na mag-use ng sarili nilang encryption. So, you have an option to use Google managed encryption keys. So, mas automated yun. You don't really have to manage. But you can also use your own kung talagang ganun kayo sa security. Or if the compliance requires it. So, and then, so si Google Cloud, encryption ay at rest by default yan, yung offering nila. So from the application, yung database din, when it comes to infrastructure, yan, covered din. Okay. Yeah, so mentioned ulit, sa DDoS protection natin, you have Cloud Armor, pwede may configure yung service na yan. So the Cloud Armor nga pala, it lives together with the yung load balancer natin. So HTTPS load balancer, pwede kang mag-configure doon ng Cloud Armor, then you can set policies or rules kung ano yung mga rules na kailangan nyo i-block, like yun nga, IP whitelist, geo restriction, SQL injection, yun, yung mga common attacks. So these are the stuff that you can use. Okay. Then, ito rin, you can use policy intelligence. Pumapasok minsan sa dito, exam questions. Paano mo i-check if someone has like parang over-provision siya dun sa roles niya. So you can use yung IAM recommender. to check if masyado bang over-provision yung user. Ayan. So it's readily available dun sa console natin. Medyo pabilis pala tayo. Okay. So, any questions from the team pala or from the participants when it comes to security? This is the time to ask. Perfect time to ask. Ayan.
Ayan, ako may parang question or parang related dito. Kada product parang iba-iba yung compliance niya, 'di ba? So kunwari may yung cloud storage, ito yung parang level of niya, parang security and compliance. Tapos itong product, ibang level na naman 'yan. Kaya maganda yung yung table na pinakita ni Sir Mil. Baka minsan, sige, kailangan ganito yung compliance level. Pero hindi pare-parehas ng compliance yung yung iba't ibang services. So dapat at least medyo ma-familiarize tayo na okay, etong pag compliance yung perspective. Parang etong mga to ang pipiliin ko dahil etong mga services na to ang compliant for a particular parang standard.
I think Maki is Sir Maki.
Yan, si Sir Maki.
Talagang Sir Amaki, hindi na nawala. Siguro medyo confusing yung terminology na compliance kasi typically compliance applies to a situation, an instance, like kunyari bangko ka, yung na-mention dito na CIDSS. Merong certain requirements sila na para mag-operate ka kasi ano ba naman regarding compliance? Partly then in regulation, for example, yung nga, sa banking example natin, meron kang dapat na i-guarantee na kaya mong mag-maintain yung mga pera ng mga tao securely, tapos yung ma-limit yung mga pwedeng potential issues like hacking, for example. So, medyo set siya as a whole na parang ito yung mga dapat mong gawin kung gusto mong maging financial institution. Ito yung kailangan mong gawin or sundin para maging health provider ka o pwede para ma-assure mo yung mga tao na safe yung mga health records mo. So, I guess medyo i-clear up ko lang na parang pwedeng iba-iba yung security mechanism per product. Pero compliance applies across the board for every organization depending on the industry. So, gusto ko lang i-correct yung terminology. Pwedeng yung mechanisms are different. Kasi lalo na, for example, yung sinabi about yung IIS and PALS, di ba? Pwede kang mag-subscribe na parang virtual hard disk or bare bones virtual machine. So, ayon nga sa shared responsibility model, ang responsibility lang ni Google is yung i-provide sa iyo yung virtual machine. Pero lahat ng mga stuff, from operating system to configuration, ikaw na bahala para sa compliance. So yun lang yung thing doon. Basta ito industry specific, and I know na yes, this shows up in the tests, pero medyo generic siya. May mga popular certifications, usually centric sa North America. Kasi for example, ngayon meron akong ka-work na European So iba yung compliance mechanisms nila. Pero ikaw kung mag-review ka lang on a high level, yan yung HIPAA, alam mo HIPAA is about healthcare. Kasi that would show up, I think. And yung isa pang thing about yung compliance is, gina-guarantee ni Google na depende din sa level of service na acquire mo sa kanila, na nag-comply sila sa regulatory requirements. Regarding HIPAA, for example. Pag ginamit mo yung Google Cloud Storage to store, sabihin natin yung medical records, parang on a hardware level, up to the service level, kayang i-guarantee ni Google na compliant sila sa HIPAA. Pero on a user level, yung mga applications na ginagawa mo, kailangan mo pa rin silang audit for compliance. So, depende din sa shared responsibility model, meron din parang level of compliance na pwedeng i-provide si Google or any other cloud provider. So, yun lang yung comment ko din on top of that. And hopefully, hindi naman masyado nakagulo. Basta para sa akin lang, in terms of exam, on high level, yes, CIDSS for PCI DSS is for banks, for credit card processing. HIPAA is for healthcare. Yung ibang mga yan, wala naman nakakabisado sa amin dyan Yung GDPR for personal information sa Europe. Kung lahat tayo nag-ooperate na sa Pilipinas lang, pwedeng hindi natin ito naramdaman. Kasi yun yung interesting thing. Parang wala tayong masyadong compliance stuff pa sa Pilipinas, unfortunately. Tignan natin. So, yan. Huwag masyadong ma-stress na ang dami nito. Yung mga common lang, GDPR, HIPAA, alam mo lang kung para saan siya, hindi mo alam yung details. Basta may idea kung saan siya nag-apply. I think okay na yun dun sa aspect ng test.
Parang sa parang may lumabas na GDPR sa akin. Parang ganun eh. Or maybe may review.
Ayun nga eh. Tama. Parang on a high level, GDPR. Kasi big deal to sa Europe eh.
Yeah.
Ayun, kunwari ngayon, nasa may biosciences ako. So yung GXP, dun sa global, dun sa lower left, kailangan namin mag-comply dyan.
Ayun. So thank you, Maki. Ayan. Preview, Maki is siya naman mag-handle ng next session. So thank you pala sa mga mentors natin for attending. Andito rin sila. Any other questions, guys? Wag mahihiya magtanong. Or baka may madadagdag din kayo sa discussions or may experience din kayo na about sa security and compliance or mga context sa work. No, parang kailangan kong mag-comply sa ganito. Ayan. Sige, kung wala pang questions ngayon, pwede naman sa Discord. Ayan, sige, continue, Sir Mil.
Sorry, medyo nakita niyo yung sagot. Wait. So yeah, let's go with some of the questions dito. So specifically for focus to sa mga security. Yan.
O game, question and answer ulit. So anonymous users from all over the world access a public health information website. Public health information. So parang keyword na naman yan. In an on-premise EHR data center, the servers that host this website are older and users are, nawala. O baka machine ko. Nawala yung display. Ayun, na-disconnect ako. Ang galing naman. Sige. May mga sagot na naman yata. Hopefully maayos pa rin yung recording natin. Tignan natin mamaya. Best effort. Hala, nag-play ka ng video. Baka kailangan kang tanggalin yung video. Baka maano ako sa YouTube. Diba? Yung mga copyright. Diba? Anyway. Ayan, may mga sagot na ba yung mga team? May mga sagot na ba sa Magpapalaro rin tayo siguro. Mag-schedule tayo ng Kahoot game. Tapos ko-collect ako yung mga magko-collect ako ng parang questions and answers tapos magpapalaro tayo. Magiging part din ng natin, ng mga raffle natin 'yon. Yung siguro yung mga top players, top doon sa Kahoot kakakuha na prizes. Pero sa bandang huli na pag natapos na yung mga sessions. So may dalawa tayong ways of winning, yung yung attendance at saka yung baka yung mga palaro na ganito parang Q&As.
And announce ko na rin, sir. Yung So for the benefit of everyone, I'll be sa dulong-dulo, I'll be raffling off one of these, yung na-share
Wow.
over kayo dito. Yan, yung libro ni Priyanka Vergaja. So yung Visualizing Google Cloud. So yung meron to mga sketches nung yan. May mga sketches yan. Kung madalas kayo sa LinkedIn, makikita nyo madalas yan na mini-mention.
Ano yan? Wow! Ang swerte naman ng umattend today. May pa-raffle si Sir Mil.
Ayun. So, yeah, I think going back to the, ano, no, dun sa question. Ayun. Ayun, dami na ng answers natin, sir. So letter B daw. So, ayan.
Ayan.
So,
Ano?
I'll go straight to the answer na kasi wala naman, wala naman answer nung mali. Ayan. So, you guys are correct. For this situation, ayun nga kasi kailangan protect yung EHR. And then, yung mga keywords dito, yun nga din pala, pag sa exam, always look for the, identify the keywords. May mga part naman kasi dyan na kailangan mo na ignore. Specifically, pag sobrang haba ng question. So, yung keywords natin dito, yung sa denial of service attack toward the website. So, automatic, Cloud Armor, agad may isip mo dyan. Tapos, and always comes from a same IP address range. So, dito pumapasok yung sinabi natin kanina, yung IP block, IP specific block. Ayan. Tapos, meron din dito yung improved latency. Yan. So, that's why the correct answer for this question is yan. Mag-configure ka ng external HTTP load balancer since required siya para i-attach nyo yan, yung Cloud Armor. And then move the application to Compute Engine Virtual Machine. Okay, next question. So IAM related to yung next question. So I'll just read through it na lang. So your customer is moving their corporate applications to Google Cloud. The security team wants detailed visibility of all resources in the organization. You use Resource Manager to set yourself up as the organization admin. Which identity and access management roles should you give to the security team while following Google recommended practices? Ayan. So, yeah, feel free to send your answer to dun sa chat window.
Ayan, may mga pumapasok na questions and answers. Ano ba? Nagiging confident na ba tayo sa ano? Nagiging confident na ba tayo sa mag-exam, guys? Kailangan din natin itaas yung confidence. Para ano?
Ayan.
We're here to help. Ayan, mukhang nakasagot na yung mga marami. Maraming sumagot ng B. Ayan. Answer reveal.
Ayan. So the answer is letter B. So
Wow.
just to add, or ano natin, explain natin bakit ganun yung answer. So, yeah. So, sa question, ignore nyo na agad tong first part. Focus tayo dito sa the security wants detailed visibility. So, at least viewer na yan yung kailangan niya access across all resources in the organization. So, this statement itself gives you two information. One is, at least viewer role yung kailangan in all resources in the organization. Ibig sabihin, sa root node yung kailangan na assignment. Tapos, yun na. Basically, yun lang yun eh. Yun na yung sagot mo eh. Pero may pahabol kasi dito, yung Google recommended practices. So, these two lang, yung sentence na yan, plus this, can provide you with the right answer. Kasi, kung wala tong part na to, basically, ito gagana to eh. Letter C gagana yan. Pero, sobrang permissive. Kasi, ito, tong org administrator, ano na yan, mas mataas yan sa viewer. So parang nawalan na ng silbi itong project browser. In-override na niya. So then the first one naman, yung letter A, organization viewer project owner. So parang kabaligtaran to ng letter C. Sa org level, viewer lang siya, pero project owner siya agad. So masyadong permissive. So this violates this specific condition. Tapos to naman sa letter D, irrelevant tong isa yung network admin. So, tanggal agad siya sa choices natin. So, that's why the correct answer is organization viewer, project viewer. Ayan. So that's how you should treat yung sa pag-check ng questions. I-remove nyo agad yung clearly irrelevant na information para mas makapag-focus kayo dun sa important na information. Okay. So last question natin. Okay, I'll read through it na lang. So you are the data compliance officer for Terram Earth. So ito yung case study, isa sa mga case studies. And you must protect customers' personally identifiable information like credit card information. Terram Earth wants to personalize product recommendation for its large industrial customers. You need to respect data privacy and deliver a solution. What should you do? Ayan, may mga answers tayong mapasok.
Ano yung parang keywords na nakikita natin dito? Respect data privacy, PII, yung nabanggit kanina, PII, personally identifiable information, credit card information. Ayan na, may mga pumapasok na.
Ano ba, raffle entry ba per correct answer pa din?
Oo nga pala, paano natin gagawin tong raffle? Pwede kong screenshot yung list of participants for today. Kaya please rename yung tamang name para and then I'll reach out. Or ikaw, how do you want to yung do the raffle survey? Or answer based ba to? Or
Kahit sa na lang, participation na lang. Sir. Pero, huwag nyo isama si Paulo Mataak. Kasi ka-work ko yan. Makaka-receive na yan.
makaka-receive na ng libro. Ayan. Ano naman, mga pampasaya ng buhay. Yan. Thank you, Sir Mila.
We can do this way. Sir. Gano'n na lang. Next session natin i-raffle, very quick lang. Manghiram lang tayo ilang minutes kay Sir Maki. Prepare lang natin yung data before that. Doon natin i-raffle. Yeah, thank you, sir.
I-prepare, ayan, para hindi on the fly. Although, sige, na-screenshot ko na naman yung mga participants natin. Si Adam, pakilagay yung surname, EA Cortez. Kasama mentors. Siguro skip na yung mentors. Ako na magpapagawa ng mga swags ng mentors. Pag-usapan natin. Kukunin ko yung mga sizes. Later. Ayan, may sagot na guys. Anong sagot natin?
Ayan. So, ang answer is letter C. Mukhang tama na yung
may question pala ako doon sa previous. Mukha naman lahat nakasagot ng C. Tama ba? Ayan, sige, explain muna. Tapos may quick pahabol na akong question sa previous.
Okay, so going back to the slide. So, ayan, yung question natin, identify muna natin yung mga key information. So, yung PII, credit card info, key information yan. Tapos, you need data privacy, deliver solution. You can ignore this, a second sentence, personalized product recommendations. Kasi yung PII, credit card, data privacy, yun pa lang, enough information na yun for you to finalize na DLP yung sagot. Kasi may, isa-isahin lang din natin yung ibang options. Like, the first one, use AutoML to provide data to the recommendation service. Yes, this is possible. Pero, it's like reinventing the wheel. Yung ganyan yung gagawin mo. So, gagawa ka ng model na pwedeng makapag-redact ng information, pero yun nga, masyado matrabaho. Or ito, yung sa second naman, process PII data on-premise to keep the private information more secure. So, I would, number one, on-premise. So, I'm not really sure, hindi na siya valid agad na question. And same nito, yung dulo, yung letter D, manually train, machine learning models yun. And ganun din, similar sa A. So it's like you're reinventing the wheel. Instead of you using a readily available service. So, yan. So, yeah, just look for the keywords. Then from there, you can go ahead with or pwede mong choose na yung DLP API. Yan. Normally, yung mga ganitong questions, ito yung mga madadali pang part. Yung like yung previous one, yun yung may mahihirap yung may mga situational. Okay. So, ayun sir. I think we have done for the third question. Do you want me to go back po ba dun sa previous one?
Yeah. Ano lang. Siguro for our for our students, ang dating sa akin dito, 'di ba? May organization viewer, may project owner. Paano natin matataas yung familiarity sa mga roles, 'di ba? Parang 'di ba ito network administrator. Bakit 'di ba? Parang ano lang, 'di ba? Parang paano natin nalaman na hindi siya kasama? 'Di ba? Parang ano lang, kunwari ikaw personally, paano nakatulong sa yung anong ginawa mo para parang maging familiar with the roles and all of that?
Ayan. Very good questions. Buti
Kasi
na naka-ready.
Student's perspective, 'di ba? Parang baka yung isa naisip ko, 'di ba, yung kasi nagagamit mo sa work, 'di ba? Kunwari, sige, nagko-configure ako ng ganito ng roles and di na-expose ka. But for someone learning or for someone new sa Google Cloud, how anong pwedeng strategy natin para mas dumami yung kaalaman natin diyan? So,
so one of the things na pwede yung gamitin to familiarize yourself with the role. Una, pwede yung documentation. Pero ako kasi, hindi rin ako maano sa documentation unless I'm looking for something very specific. I'm more of yung hands-on na learner. I learn more when doing something. Kaya ako, ang approach ko normally, I go through the console. So, nagtatry ko ng GCP, yung $300, 3 months na duration. Nagtatrial ako nun. Then, I usually go through yung roles page. Kasi minsan, kailangan namin magtahi or mag-create ng custom role. So, I usually look for the privileges that I want to use. Then from here din kasi, pwede mo makita yung specific role like yun, network admin. Yung network admin, makikita mo yung mga privileges na included yan. Ayan, so bare metal. Yan. Networks admin lang pala. Yan. So you can use this, yung tool na to. So yun din, yung sa question kanina, paano natin nalaman na yung network admin is wrong option here sa question na to. Kasi yung babalik tayo dun sa first na relevant information. The security team wants detailed visibility of all resources in the organization. Kasi pag naka-network admin ka normally, ang makikita mo lang mga VPC, subnets, anything related to network. Yun lang yung makikita mo. Tapos ito, project owner lang din. This violates the yung Google recommended practice na this privilege access. So
Yan, yun. Salamat, Sir Mil. Ayan. So may mga iba-ibang ways to familiarize. So yung isa, silipin natin talaga yung console. Tapos of course, yung documentation, it's a very good approach. Ayan, may nag-post ng link, Understanding Roles. I-share din natin to sa group. Ano pa? Yan, may nagko-comment si Jeff. Understanding roles for those na walang access sa GCP pa. Yan. Pero, of course, gawa natin ang paraan na magkaroon tayo ng access sa GCP. May final tip din ako dito sa roles. Parang naaalala ko may mga lumabas na tungkol sa roles and permissions, tungkol sa BigQuery. Parang may mga ganang, may lumabas na ganon about billing at saka yung about access. Maganda silipin niyo yung mga roles about BigQuery. Parang may naalala akong scenario na etong project, etong mga set of users, parang ito yung mga mabibil. Tapos itong set of users, ito yung kailangan mag-query, may access sa query. So anong mga to? Medyo hints. Anong mga permissions or rules ang dapat na meron diyan? Ano lang, parang nagbalik lang sa akin. So silipin natin yung mga big query rules. Karaniwan, well, for me parang medyo lumabas siya. Ayan, sige.
May dadagdag din akong konti.
Ayun, baka may naalala siya pa.
Hindi kasi meron ding history itong si Google Cloud na I think yung granular permissions na nakita mo na parang kaya mo specify yung kung anong resource yung pwede mong galawin. Medyo bago na siya eh. Basta nung kauna-unahang panahon, ang permissions na meron dati is either owner ka, editor ka, or viewer. Kaya yun yung nakasulat na primitive war. So may historical significance yun. Kaya parang for the most part, may kita mo kung primitive roles, it's either one of the three, owner, viewer, or editor. So si owner, si viewer, syempre, wala siyang pwedeng galawin, pwede niyang silipin. Si editor, pwede mong i-adjust, pwede mong galawin. Kanya pwede kang configure o gumawa ng resources. Si owner, bukod sa kay editor, pwede siyang magdagdag ng users, pwede niyang i-assign, o ikaw, Brian, ikaw na yung owner nitong resource na to. So yun yung historical context na. Kaya nagpe-persist pa din siya. Pero yun nga, in the grand scheme of things, masyado siyang broad na hindi rin niya na-fit yung particular roles na kailangan natin. So kaya din nagkaglumos yung ibang mga terms na feeling ko descriptive naman. So pag sinabi mong administrator, it sounds more like an editor. Pero it's a defined role na scoped on a particular role, which is like network administration, for example. So I think na kahit na parang hindi ka ganun ka-familiar, pero yung going in with yung contextual understanding of kung ano yung motivations behind yung role, pati some common sense will actually get you far enough to lead you to the right answer. So hindi siya parang kailangan mong kabisaduhin talaga. Parang mas yung intuition mo and really understanding yung how the roles are named, pati yung principle ng role na basically knowing who can do what on which resource should actually get you far in kind of working through the security question, at least specific to IAM. Yun na yung additional comment ko doon. And yun, naalala ko lang pala na sabihin ko about yung compliance basically is, sinabi ko na yes, si Google Cloud, sabi niya compliant siya in a lot of things like for HIPAA, for example. Kung in the test, parang how do you achieve yung certain compliance? You have to sign up or you need to request for business agreement from Google. Yun yung naalala ko lang kanina. Okay na. Yun na yung chika ko muna. Thank you.
Pero may last na dagdag chika ako. Naalala ko kasi may project kami sa AWS naman. So tapos may hinihingan tayo ng mga certification. May special page sila doon na sige, ito yung project mo. Punta ka doon. Mada-download mo yung mga PDF na, sige, ito yung mga products na ginagamit mo at saka ito yung compliance certification nila sa kada product. So, bibigay mo na lang. Pwede mo, madali lang naman. Ipapasa mo. Parang generate mo yung PDF o papadownload mo. Papasa mo sa humihingi. Para at least hindi lang Google Cloud. Sa other clouds. Ayan, sige. It's 2:07. Medyo papunta na tayo sa back to Sir Mil.
Yeah. I think that's it for the yung 3 natin na questions. So just a recap, yung session natin today mostly focused on security, specifically IAM, yung roles. Yung sa user provisioning din, just make sure you remember those in DCDS and cloud identity. But I think for the next session, sir, I think si Maki yung mag-cover. Should we provide more information regarding that?
Ayan. Tapos, next natin si Maki next week and then pause muna tayo kasi Holy Week. Tapos yung last session, pwede naman ako mag-cover, pwede rin kausapin natin yung mga mentors kung may gusto mag-cover rin. Anyway, we'll sort that out. But pwede rin naman na. Ayan, so we've come to a conclusion. So thank you again, everybody for joining the session. as usual,
Wait, sorry.
yes, Maki.
May sisingit lang ako, may nalalaman ako. Kasi lumabas yung sa organization, di ba? Yung merong organization note, may folders. Ewan ko kung na-discuss na ba ito before or familiar ba lahat doon? Kasi hindi rin siya available sa lahat. Kunwari parang ikaw individual user ka, may account, gamit mo yung Gmail mo, for example, wala kang organization node. Parang project ka lang or multiple projects. Wala ka ring folder. So, ito yung mechanism for governance, basically for any enterprise to help you kind of manage your resources and kind of map out yung cloud resources to your organization, your organization requirement. Pwede mo i-set up siya. Pero yung organization, palabas nga nung slide ng specifically organization, may folder and may project notes. Gusto ko lang i-clarify na kunyari ikaw mag-explore ka, hindi mo siya pwedeng gawin mag-isa. Dapat organization ka. Ang ibig sabihin ng organization in a sense, meron kang sariling domain name at least, something.com. Tapos i-associate mo yung identity mo through your domain sa iyong cloud identity and yung Google Cloud subscription. Tsaka ka magkakaroon ng capability na gumawa ng organization and under folders sa ilalim ng organization node. And yung folders are optional. And I know na parang may mga certain questions before na lumabas about that, na parang ano ba pwede mong gawing organization ng Google Cloud Resources mo given na you're an org, kung paano yung folders, can you nest folders? Yes, you can nest folders. Pero yung mga capability na yun, hindi mo siya pwedeng explore kung hindi ka org, kung hindi ka .com, wala kang parang cloud identity tied to a domain name. Yun lang yung gusto kong I guess, additional footnote dun sa item na yun kanina. Baka lang din kasi i-try nyo tapos hindi nyo magawa. Nasa yung folder.
Correct. Kaya actually itong mga roles, folders, organizations, isa siya sa weak points ko nung nag-aaral ako eh. So buti thanks for that perspective. Nung nagsisimula nga pag nag-set up ka from Gmail, 'di ba? May mga invitation o sige, may free $300, something. Pero diretso ka sa projects eh, 'di ba? So ganun. Wala siyang organization and folder Hindi mo nakikita tong green, hindi mo to nakikita tong itong reddish. Yan, red ba yan o pink? Yan. Ayan. So yun. So kailangan mo mag-set up ng organization. O kaya minsan 'di ba? Kapag may Google Workspace ka, tapos, ayan na, yun yung isa pang medyo magulo pag may workspace ka, tapos pwede ka parang may organization ka na eh. 'Di ba? Kasi may na siya, may domain na nakatali doon sa workspace mo. So, yung workspace mo, pwede kang madaling makapag-set up ng ganitong organization and folders. If kung may may workspace ka na may domain. Ayan, yan yung itsura niya kapag may organization, yung building na icon, yun organization yun. Ayun, yung folder, tapos yung parang tatlong dots yan yung projects mo na. So may nested siya. Wow, thank you for sharing Sir Bill. At least na visualize natin yung organization, folders and projects. Yeah. Pero conceptually, ganun lang.
May questions sa chat?
May questions ba ngayon? May lumabas pa bang questions?
Ingay.
Wait. Is it need?
Sagutin na natin about tabata. Si na lang. Hindi. Mas role ni Sir Mil to eh. Kasi ang answer to that is not necessarily. Sino masasagot?
Need po ba na may G Suite pa para nawala. Para
The answer is no.
That is no. Kasi, ayan so, yung differentiation kasi between Google Workspace and Cloud Identity, depende kasi yun eh. If your organization is also using Google Workspace, kasi yung Google Workspace, for those who are not aware, siya yung manage email, pati yung mga collaboration software, Google Docs, gano'n. Pag may ganun kasi yung organization nyo, naka-Google Workspace na kayo, there's really no need for cloud identity. Pero pag yung organization nyo, kunwari, naka-Office 365, so hindi kayo gumagamit ng Google Workspace, pero need nyo gumamit ng GCP, that's the time papasok si Cloud Identity. So, dun din papasok yung sabi ni Maki na mayroong root org. Kasi if an organization, basta yung account under a Google Workspace or Cloud Identity, yun yung meron siyang root node. Pag personal, wala. Walang folder, walang...
Yung short answer is no. So it's a hard no. You don't need to subscribe to a G Suite or Google Workspace to have an organizational node. Ang hard requirement is your own domain name to represent your organization. Pwede mag-isa ka lang. For example, ikaw ang jeffcanale.com. Sabi mo, I'm gonna have my own brand. Pwede yun. Kunin mo yung domain mo. Kasi sa identity ni Google, ang identifier na organization is a domain name. So pwedeng yun. Mag-account ka na sa organization. Basta may sarili kang domain name. Tapos i-verify mo kay Google through yung Google Cloud Identity na ikaw nga yun, yung organization na yun, ayun, bibigyan ka niya ng... So ano ba yung mga idea behind that? As a whole, si Google, yung kanyang identity service is yung Cloud Identity. And I think whether it's Workspace or not, parang behind the scenes, it's still Cloud Identity, di ba? Parang it's still the same sort of identity provider service. Yun lang yung kailangan mong i-register yung domain name to grant yourself an organization stack. So at least in terms of sa mata ni Google system. So again, long story short, basta domain name lang. Not necessarily na may workspace kung for example, nasa yung productivity suite mo naka Microsoft 365, okay lang din. Kung existing ka na sa ibang mga lugar, for example, na pero kailangan mo lang i-gamitin yung Google Cloud Services, or kung ikaw ay company na magmamigrate considering to the cloud, pero mayroon ka na existing parang infrastructure for all other services of your organization, you just need to bring your domain name to Google Cloud Identity to give you kasi hindi na siya Google Cloud specific It's more of an identity service specific through Google. Pero hindi naman siya mahirap. You can really feel your way through it. I personally have my own domain and my own identity under Google din. So kaya ako medyo familiar.
Ayun. Thanks for that, Maki. Yeah, so I think thanks. Yun, medyo na-clarify natin yung sa organization and sa resource hierarchy. So yes, yung organization, specific yan if you have Cloud Identity or Google Workspace. Either of the two. Pero pag personal, wala. Both organization and folders are not available. Okay, I'm not sure kung na-disconnect si Sir Brian.
Kaya ba siya pa wala kanina? Ay, naka-mute. Here we go.
Ayan, sorry, may mga tumatawag eh. Ayan, so thank you so much guys. So wrap up na tayo. So final is unmute, camera, please. On lang tayo ng camera and then let's get a group picture. So ayan, thanks guys for attending. Medyo humaba ng konti pero hopefully naging maganda yung discussion at naging useful yung mga mga nakuha natin for today. So okay, I'll take the first picture. Smile, look at the camera. And then next page. Ayan. Ayun, so thank you guys. We won't prolong this. So happy weekend and happy Saturday. Thank you for attending. we'll send the slides over sa sa Discord.